Rekkanition. For the music makers of Portland. Now listen with your host, Rekkanition.
What is up, you guys? I'm here this week with Roulette Delgato, and I'm really stoked about
What
this,
up?
man.
Me too.
Because I look up to you a lot,
Thank
a
you.
lot. Because I've known you for a long time. I don't know if you've known me for a long time, but I've known you for a while.
Thank you.
Like,
I mean, I've definitely heard of you for a while. I thought we've only met a handful of times.
Yeah.
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 But thank you so much. That means a lot.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just like your style and how you you're yourself. You're just
Oh,
you
man.
can just tell that you're solid, you know?
Thank you. It took me a while to get to this point to where I'm 100% authentically myself. So
Oh,
it
yeah.
definitely feels good.
Oh yeah. I know
Yeah.
what you mean. Like, it takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
Some people act like you're just born that way, and I'm like, no, it takes a minute to morph into yourself.
It takes leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and we were
So-
actually wanting to touch base on some of the stuff that's been like going around, specifically on me.
Yeah. And I first and foremost, thank you for having me on your platform. It definitely means
yeah.
a lot. I love your setup. I think this is great. And I definitely wanted to. I know we're gonna talk music and stuff, but I did want to touch on it because I feel like it's important to be able to not only like clear your name, but it's not like anybody has to explain themselves to people. But I
Mhm.
feel like because of the culture being hip hop, and it being a huge part of Black culture, a lot of stones are being thrown at you, and so this is your show.
Yeah.
Right. And but I wanted to at least come on here and just kind of like, give you not give you a chance because this is your platform, but I mean literally like give you a chance to
Just explain it.
explain it.
Yeah.
And like, because obviously I've heard things, and I think that I'm not a runner. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I am professional, and I'm not gonna be like, hey, like, sorry, I can't do this, but I at least wanted to let's just get clarity on the situation.
Oh yeah,
you know
and
what
I'm
saying?
super down for that because there's a lot of things that like got lost in the
Mhm.
threads of things, and not a whole lot of people come in to talk to me.
Right.
So when I started hearing, like, I had a couple people hit me up. They're like, "Whoa, I'm hearing this stuff. Like, what happened?" And then
Mhm.
when I explained to it, they're like, "Man, I'm sorry you're like going through that."
Because
Because
people are going hard.
yeah,
on
well,
you.
I mean, and nobody really was taking the time to listen to me.
Right.
And so I kind of stopped paying it mind because I
Mhm.
wasn't being heard. And then it escalated.
Right.
Like, so for instance, somebody was saying that I say the N word all the time
Mhm.
when that's not ever what I said. What I was saying is like, back in like 2012, where I grew up, like out in Dundee in
Mhm.
Newburgh area. Do you know where that's at?
I do.
I think you've been in like McMillan
Yeah,
area
yeah.
before. Yeah. Just in that area, like the climate and stuff, like in like 2012, we were still in high school. Like all of us said like it to each other, like
Mhm.
as homies, And it wasn't until I left that area when I started working with like Chillis Illis, like once somebody called me out on it in town, but I still didn't really understand. I was
Mhm.
like 21 maybe and just wild and drunk all the time. So I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, that's what I call my friends. What are you talking about? And then it was when I met Chillis Illis and I started making music with him. Do you know
Mhm.
him?
Oh yeah, of course.
And he's
That's a
like,
big homie.
I didn't even know how much of a legend he was
Yeah.
until later. But
Yeah.
he actually schooled me on it. He's like, he's the one who kind of was like, told me exactly why it's wrong.
Right. And so in Dundee, the area where you grew up at, it's primarily white.
It's like a mix of white, a lot of Hispanic, and there was a few Black kids at our school,
Mhm.
but not that much, no.
Right.
So it wasn't like ever, and we never used it derogatory.
Mhm.
We were never like calling people names like that. So, but yeah, it was just kind of used.
So do you feel like it was just a lack of not knowing or understanding that saying that word to each other, even though it was not derogatory, it was still
Oh yeah.
kind of like offensive to other people who, because for example, like obviously you know where it came from,
Yeah.
the derivative of the word, and like it being from the ER and changing it to a hard A, as a term of endearment between us because we took that word back, right?
Mhm.
And so
I think it had a lot to do with also the music we listened to.
Right.
It was just in there.
Yeah.
So it just became normal to us.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, really, it wasn't until I walked up to like a black friend and like say, "What's up, my homie?"
Mm-hmm.
But, you know,
Yeah.
and that wasn't until he was like, "What?" You know,
Got
so
offended,
yeah. And that's kind of how you learn things too. I mean, if that wouldn't have happened, I'd have no idea.
I'm sure there's areas.
I'm sure I would have grew up in like
places that probably still do it right now, but they don't really truly understand.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have a lot of black friends to sit them down and school them and say, "Hey, you're not supposed to say that word," right? And some people even will argue and say, "Well, why not? You guys can say it," but it's more so the fact that it's a term of endearment for us that we say to each other, and we took the word back from the oppressors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I feel like that also, like kind of the word queer. I feel like that kind of like happened as well. Like queers took that name back, and they're like, yeah, because I remember that being like a hardcore diss back in the day.
Yeah.
If someone called you that, you know, so it's, you know, it makes way more sense now that I'm older.
Yeah.
I was just young at the time, and all I was doing was I was on someone's podcast, and I was just explaining to them like how I learned,
right?
You know, and so then they took that and they left out the part that I said I used to say it, and then they just threw it in like I say it. Like somebody even asked me, like, "Do you walk around saying this?" I'm like, "No." Like, do you think I would last very long in our like society? Right. Like, come on, man.
So you were young with your friends, and some of you guys did until you were educated upon, you know, the situation, and now you're like, "No, I don't."
Well, and that's the same thing about like the Japanese thing, like just using the shortened word. I didn't know was like a bad thing. Okay, I just didn't know. Yeah. And what happened is, like, I said it on KBOO, and they acted in the comment as if they called me out right away, and that did not happen. Like, I remember on the interview someone saying, "Well, that's not politically correct," but I had no idea what they're talking about, so I was like, "Well, I'm not either," you know. Right. So like, because I didn't realize what I said was bad, you know. But it was just kind of disappointing because afterwards they were saying as if they called me out right on the spot, kicked me out. But that never happened. I'm like, I left that place not knowing I said what I said was bad, you know? So
in what context were you using that?
I was explaining my car.
Okay.
And actually exactly what I said is I was explaining how my dad was really into like American cars and how funny it was that I was in the Japanese cars because he had a shirt on like back in the day that said, "I don't know jack shit about Japanese shit," you know, but it said that JAP.
Okay.
And I just didn't know. You know, I thought it was explaining my car.
Right.
You know, and like, I guess maybe because I've never used it in a derogatory way, I just didn't really know. You know? So that's what happened with that other thing too. And then other than that, it's all about my hair.
Okay, so that was the other thing. So I mean, obviously, I learned from my brother. You know, brought it up to me and was like, "Hey, you see what's going on online today? People are coming at Rekka about her hair," and I'm like, "What's wrong with her hair?" And he told me that you had locks, and that there are people who are pro-black and in the community of advocates for our rights and stuff like that who had an issue with it. So my initial reaction was, why does it matter that she has locks, like, or dreads? Like, I don't understand. But thinking about it,
I definitely see why.
Right. And so that was my next point. So thinking about it in the culture where it comes from, I can see why somebody would want to ask, why do you have those? And, you know, maybe expect or want an explanation. But after that, then it's like,
what can you do more than that? You know?
Right. So, why did you get dreads?
So for me, I mean, I was telling you a little bit before, like before I met Zone, like when I had my kid, I got postpartum depression and it was like, I almost died like a lot.
Right.
And it was like 2 years of it. And somebody like got me to get back into music. I met Zone.
Right.
Instantly just started transforming like into my person. You know, first it was shaving my head. First I shaved my head because I always wanted to. And I was like, this is my chance to not only just be like Rekka, but be Rekka. And I was like, it's my time. Like, and so then as soon as I found out that you could wash locks, because I always thought you couldn't. A lot of people think that, which is weird. But once I found out you could, I instantly got them because I've always loved them.
Right.
Always. And like another thing that like bothers me about it is like people are acting as if I don't appreciate the culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it means a lot to me, like especially hip hop.
Yeah.
Like it means.
I mean, because you're like smack dab in it. So being a rapper, and being, you know, Caucasian and being a rapper, like obviously there's always going to be some kind of like thing, I guess. So like,
well, it's because it's easier for me to win as a white person, and that's why I understand it, and that's why I kind of wish people would understand my type of thinking, because I'm such like a uplifting person, or turn around and pull my friend up with me. Like that's the whole reason I even made like this podcast, is because I see it and I see tons of talent in our town, and I just want to help. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I wish people would kind of see that side of it.
So you don't use your white privilege to get ahead and like, because I feel like people can get things misunderstood. And a big part of why I wanted to speak on that was because obviously we all have brands and stuff like that. And when somebody is a target, for example, I was a huge target back in 2014 when I came out of the closet on live television. When I came out, a lot of people...
You came out on live television?
On divorce court.
Dude, that's what the fuck
is with my ex-girlfriend. Yeah, I did. It was a crazy situation. But when I came out, and I've said this in a lot of interviews, that a lot of people in Portland, I would say Portland rap turned its back on me. And that's not right.
Yeah.
There were certain people in Portland rap who were like, that I used to run with tough, like, Roulette, you're one of the dopest rappers in the town. I respect you, look up to you, blah, blah, blah. And the moment I came out, all that goes away.
Oh, I had that happen with like what happened with online. A couple of the people, I was pretty heartbroken. Where I was like, man, you didn't even call me? Damn. Like I thought
to have
we were...
a conversation.
Yeah.
That's how I felt too. Cause I'm like, damn, like I thought like we were better than that. But you learn. And in my situation, you know, there are people who didn't want to be around me because they didn't want to be perceived as gay as well. Which to me is like, how does it automatically make you gay?
It just rubs off on people?
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Even to this day, people have this thing like they're like, oh, the agenda and, you know, gay images on TV turning kids gay. If you're gay, you're
gay.
just gay.
Yeah.
If you're straight, you're just straight.
Yeah.
I told somebody the other day, well, if Lil Nas X's video is turning kids gay, then just play WAP and turn them back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's that, you know, but in reality, it's just, I went through a depression myself and hid under a rock for like 4 months. And it was hard for me to get past, but I had to realize that there was so much more out there and a bigger audience for me now to help inspire and motivate. So, I can understand, you know, what you're going through, and I just wanted to touch on that because I feel like maybe you never really had a chance to explain.
I'm glad that we did it live too, because you're right, there isn't a lot of people hitting me up and asking me about it, but there's a lot of people that are like, hey, there's a lot of talk about you. The wildest part is like literally a week before, or like 2 weeks before, I was getting mad messages from people like, oh, people are like talking about you, good job. And then like 3 different people on one of my friends like podcasts like mentioned me in their podcast, and like literally everyone was talking about me in a good way. And then I feel like as soon as that started happening, something had to happen. Right. You know what I mean? Like, and then I had to realize who was gonna rock with me, who was gonna, you know, jump with this.
For clarity, you are not racist.
No,
for
man.
clarity, you got your hair like that because you want to express yourself and you like the way it looks.
Yep. And I don't hate Asians. I love Asian, like everything.
Yeah. Asian
food, Asian cars, Asian people, but anime.
You can definitely see why those instances would make people wonder. And I feel like lack of education in those, in that realm, not like initial smarts, but just in those realms, obviously will have you thinking different and make you feel well, it's okay to say this, but in reality it's like, well, nobody's ever said that, or, you know, I never really saw an instance where it was not okay, so now I know. And it's kind of like, for example, the baby, he said what he said at Rolling Loud. I feel like it was just miseducation and some people don't agree, but I feel like because of what he said, he didn't realize he was offending people who were like AIDS and HIV positive. Yeah. People who are homosexual and do homosexual acts or whatever. Like, that's their business, right? But to make it sound like, you know, it's so a terrible, bad thing, you just told millions of people that, you know, they mean nothing.
They are horrible.
They're horrible,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So just lack of education in that realm. And
Do you know if he like learned from that at all?
I think he did. Oh
it?
yeah, like I think he sat down with a lot of people from the LGBTQ community.
That's good. Yeah.
From there was one organization that sat down with him, and they actually signed off for him to go back to Rolling Loud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I think is dope because anybody can learn, right? Like it's just all about what you do with it after, and having the opportunity to be able to speak your piece. You know what I mean? Do you feel like you owe anybody an apology?
If they feel hurt because of my hair or something, I feel like I'd love to talk to them. And definitely like an apology for ever like saying what I said, like back in the day, or even like, you know, that thing about the Japanese and stuff. Like totally sorry if I offended anybody, kind of thing. Yeah. When it comes to like my hair, my body, my look, I can't. You know, like, because I've worked so hard to get here, you know, to express myself in my way as best I can. I always do my part to promote, you know, so, you know, I don't think really I don't make money off of my hair.
Right.
I put way more money into my music than I'm making. So it's like, I don't feel as though I'm profiting off of it.
Well, thank you for saying that, because when I did hear that word used to be used, you know, back in the day, I was a little taken back. So I'm like, why would they say that? But it makes sense. It makes sense
in my
now.
area, it just was normal.
And it makes sense. And so, you know, but the fact that you're, you know, apologizing, saying, hey, if I offend anybody, I apologize. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Well, and I do apologize to anybody that I've ever hurt, even back in the day, you know, that I don't remember, just because I purely don't like to hurt people. Because hurt people. And I don't want to be hurt, you know?
And that's what.
And I treat people like I want to be treated too.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And like, I don't want anybody to judge me by the way I look or how I dress, you know? Like, because this is just me, you know? I'd hate for someone to be like that, you know? That's why it was so rough.
Right.
It was like a punch to the gut. I was like, oh, I'm not a bad ouch, you know? Like, damn.
And you have one of the biggest people, you know, in not even just Portland rap, but one of the dopest DJs in this music scene in general in your corner. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think that speaks volumes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was there even when I got my locks. He saw my transformation. Yeah. So he knew, like, that was just me becoming me. You know what I mean? And he knows my intent, too.
Right.
That's another thing why he's always had my back, is because he knows that I want to change the world for kids. I want to like help people with addiction, depression. Right. You know, so he sees that and
there's
he knows
so much more to Rekka than
there's a
the
lot.
Surface that people are putting on you. So
thanks for taking the time to like look into that too.
I really, you know, the thing I really wanted to, because I just, you know, being black, being a rapper, you know, and then being gay too, like I deal with a lot of discrimination and a lot of adversity. And so because typically white people don't really deal with a lot of adversity, and there is like a lot of white privilege, sometimes people can look at you like, oh, well, what is she doing? Why is she doing that? And I feel like being able to explain yourself and just say, you know, look, this is like,
well, and I can't important. Like not keep going, because I can't help anybody if I don't make it.
Right.
You know, does that make sense?
It does.
Like, to me, it's like I can't slow down and stop. I can't like entertain all these people mad at me without talking to me, because that'll just slow me down, and then I can't help anyone.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, thank you for having that conversation with me. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, well, let's talk about you for a minute, because dude, I really want to ask you, because how many did you just do Boo Bomb once?
One time. Yep.
What was it like? That's like a dream to me.
Oh my gosh. Okay, first and foremost, when I saw the contest posted, I believed that I could win in my heart, but I did not think I was going to win, because it was like a put your bid in, you know, sing the song and have people vote. I had to get a lot of votes. I was literally every single day harassing people, inboxing people, sharing it, and all my people, you know, hashtag Gato Gang, my fan base and my supporters, they all came through. And I mean, people were commenting, I voted 10 times today. I did this, I did that. Like, everybody was like really going ham for me. So
that's sick.
I made it to the top, I think 5 or top 4. And then we had to battle it out at the iHeartRadio building.
What do you mean battle it out? You guys performed.
We had to perform. And so literally I was last, ended up being last, and I watched everybody go up. And everybody killed it. Like, it was really dope. So Luna, shout out to my bro So Luna. He killed it. Samuel the First. I mean, I think he the year prior, Samuel the First jumped in the contest and did it, and completely killed it, but somebody else won that time, I think. And then the same year that I was in the contest, he completely killed it too. And I think he was like the shoe-in for that year. Like, it would have been him. And then my thing was, I just sat back and watched. I already knew what I wanted to do, so it wasn't like okay, sit back and watch and meticulate and see like who's doing what. It was more so like sitting back there with my team talking, and I was really nervous. I get nervous before every show I do. Same. And when I got up there, I made it my show. I got up there with my painted fingernails and my jacket with no shirt underneath.
Did you have
my
a crown
chain.
too?
I didn't have the crown at the time.
You didn't have it at the time? Oh, that's what made you feel like you needed it at that point. Yeah, you're like, man.
Right. But I had my blonde hair and my glasses, and I got up there.
Well, you always look like a superstar, too.
Thank you so much.
That's probably why they're like, damn, do you see this guy? He's
One of the judges definitely was like, I knew when you got on stage you were going to take it, because you literally had your image together and you made it your concert. And then I did this 16 bar verse at the end of my set. It was a cappella, just talking about homosexuality and how we get treated, and just all these things. And like, the place erupted, and I ended up winning.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So then going to the actual Boo Bomb was literally like a dream come true. I would tell my mom when I was a kid, when it was Rose Quarter, I'm going to perform there one day. Like, I'm going to get on stage. You're going to be front row and this and that. Unfortunately, my mom passed away.
Oh man, she still
ago.
Watched though.
She watched. She was right there around my neck in my chain. She was up there with me, and it was a complete blessing. And it just felt good to walk around that stage. I had my whole team with me.
I feel like that would be crazy.
It was definitely crazy. It was a lot of fun. So
well, and I feel like it also like boosted you up, not like just in fame wise, but your confidence.
Oh my
because
gosh.
I saw you before and I saw you after. So then I was like, look at this guy, he's ready. And
so I have a song called Body on You. The acronym is BOY, and that song is about body positivity and just loving yourself. And so there's shows I would do sometimes where I wear my jacket with no shirt, and I'll come out of my jacket on certain parts. And so with Boo Bomb, I came out of my jacket, you know what I'm saying? Even at the contest I did, but on the actual Boo Bomb stage, I came out of my jacket, and then I was just super free up there. Like, being a bigger guy, there's all these stigmas and stuff like that. And, I'm all about body positivity. That's my edge. So, and at one point I did my remix of Biggie Smalls' Juicy, which is called No Apologies, and really goes deep into my thoughts about the community and how we get treated as gay people and LGBTQIA plus people. And a friend of mine back then came and put the rainbow flag around my neck like a superhero cape.
Oh,
and I just literally felt superhuman at that point. And I was just parading around the stage singing my song, and like you could just see the pride flag blowing in the wind. It was an amazing day, very historic. So I think after that, the confidence really just shot up and just turned me into like, not a cocky person. I've never been like cocky.
Yeah.
Definitely very confident. But I don't, overdo it online or treat people like they're beneath me and stuff like that. I'm myself. And if I can uplift and motivate, inspire anybody else, that's what I'll do. So, that's what my journey is, and my thing as being who I am.
No, I really enjoy that about you.
Thank you.
You were like 100% like yourself, and I dig it like a lot.
Thank you so much.
People can totally tell when you walk in the room. They're like, what? I was talking to someone the other day, and we were talking about you, about like your style, how dope it is, and we were talking about how you had like a pride flag. And they were like, anyone who can walk around with a crown and a pride flag on and like kill it like he does on the mic, like you have to respect, like. And I love it so much. You are so like open. You were like free. Do you feel free?
Oh my gosh. And that is probably the best part about being who I am, is the freedom.
Oh, yeah.
And I never would have thought in a million years that if one day I would be on stage rapping about being homosexual, wearing a pride flag, and being comfortable in doing that, because I was so far deep into the closet. And I actually got outed, and that's why I did come out. It's a long story, but somebody I trusted was a producer of mine, and he told a friend of mine who
Like told him about that you were
what
gay?
we were doing, yeah, because we were hooking up.
Oh, I see.
And he told my friend, and my friend got
That's
mad at
messed
me. Excuse me. I said some really not so nice things to a friend of mine back then because I was kind of in my own head and dealing with being in the closet, and I think I said and treated her a way that was not cool, and she retaliated by telling other people and like outing me, and so but she's like one of my best friends.
Well, sometimes
today.
you go through shit like that, like for a reason. Like the same with the people that kind of like flipped on me. There's a few particular ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have no problem with them.
Right.
I would still be friends because I know they're upset about,
Yeah.
And so I feel like people like that you go through that with, those are solid people too.
Absolutely. Like she's one of my best friends today and like a sister to me because
that's so
prior to all of that, I've known her since we were like yay high to a grasshopper, like 14, 15 years old, so there's just ties there that can't be broken. And even though we went through that situation, now I'm free. I'm free, and it's no longer a thing. And the love that I've always had for this person, I still have to this day because she's like one of my best friends. So it feels good today to be black and be gay, be free, and just do what I do in my music. And I have people in my family who love me to death, but don't accept my lifestyle. But they're like, but I love you though, and I support you, and I'm always going to be in your corner, but I just don't agree with your lifestyle, and that's fine. I don't agree with a lot of things they do, but it's not my business. I still love them. Know? So at the end of the day, I have to worry about Roulette Delgato and what I'm giving to the world, which is nothing but positivity and love. So
that's what's important. That's what a bunch of people have been telling me to do too. They're like, turn this into something positive and stay positive and spread positivity, which I was already on that roll anyway. So I just tried to keep going through the, all the negative. I'm like, just smile. It's good for you guys. Like, come on.
Right. Exactly.
We'll make it through.
Cause I know there was like a diss track or something too.
Yeah. I was like, damn, man.
And I was like, damn, in the spirit of hip hop, like, is she going to fire back?
Right. Actually, I don't want to like backtrack at all, but can I add something to that?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was really frustrating about what all went down, right? So I had a song with a couple people, which one of the ones put a diss track out. I'm not a big fan of saying names. Sorry, guys. But so we had a track together, and my hair was the same way. We had an amazing video we did together. I loved that video. And then all of a sudden, 6 months later, he hit me up asking me to telling me to take it down because of my hair.
Oh, damn.
So it was kind of, frustrating, and then we got into our little beef because basically I wasn't going to cut my hair, and then that's when they started piling online. Like we tried handling it over the phone, but as soon as I called them dreads, it was like game over, which I get, but everyone I know calls them that. So it's kind of hard for me to know if you don't tell me ahead of time, Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it was frustrating because then they came out with that track. And I was like, come on, man. Like we did a track together and you just changed your mind on me. And now you're making a track. Do you think I should fire back?
It sucks.
For the spirit of hip hop?
If it was me, I probably would.
You would? All right. I'll think about it.
Well, here's the thing. Like being a rapper and being somebody who is free and open at that time, back in 2014, 2015, there was a lot being said about me from a lot of people. Never to my face, really. It was all like online behind fake pages and stuff like that. So that's why I made the remix to Biggie Smalls Juicy and did No Apologies. And it was not necessarily a diss track, but it was a song aimed at everybody who had something to say about me
think of something like
and
that.
treated me that way. You know what I mean?
What I like about that song is it's like politely aggressive.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Where it's like, it reminds you of like a song where you're like, yeah, good mood, but it's also talking about some serious shit,
Because I'm going to talk my shit, but I'm also going to state facts too. Yeah. I'm a big fan of stating facts. My thing is, I got tired. I was tired of people attacking me, and it's all fun and games, like being a part of the people who are doing the attacking and then everybody's grouped up, but being the person who's being attacked, you feel alone, you feel cold, centered, like who has my back? And it's like, you know what, fuck that, I'm about to come through bussing. And so that's what I did.
Like your other track, Bussin' too,
Bussin'
right?
Back is another one. Yeah, another one that I wrote.
That video's sick.
Thank you so much.
We should have added that. We should.
Oh, dope.
Bussin' is playing, or the? Oh well, you should almost look up the video and play it. Oh yeah.
Oh lit. Yeah, that.
See, he already knows
that song. Basically, that song is a representation of my return back to rap music, because I rap, sing, songwrite, and so now I have been. My last album, Superhuman 2: The Evolution, was all R&B with like hip hop infusion, but I wanted to do something that was like, you know what, people have been saying we want the old Delgato back, with the black tap in the backpack in the back and all that, but it's like my content back then was very different, because when I was younger, I did sell dope. I did carry a 22 in my backpack. Like, I was about that life, but it wasn't like I'm running around looking for beef and like who wants, It was more so protecting myself, making sure I was good. But my mama taught me that. My mom was she was a queen pin in Portland, like one of the biggest dope dealers in Portland. And she taught me how to cook, crack, cut it, bag it, sell it, like me and my brothers and sisters. So, I mean? Like, I come from that lifestyle, but growing up, I grew out of that. I went through foster care, and I had a different outlook on life that was given to me. And, so it really changed my music and my mind and everything. So once I did that last album, or I did The Antidote in 2009, and that was super hood album. And I was known for that album. People were like, we want that Delgato back. And I'm like, that Delgato was like in the past, but what I can still give you is that fast flip, give you those bars, and still give you that aggression.
Yeah.
But that content I won't talk about, because that's not me today.
Yeah.
So Bustin' Back was like in representation of all that. And I feel like it's an amazing song. I really killed it.
Oh yeah, it's sick. And the video is sick. Yeah.
So much fun. Shout out to my bro. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going.
Oh, shout out to my bro, Carlos Ortiz, choreographer.
Yeah.
Amazing. Shout out to my team, Just Wild, Kanitis, Glam Doll, for, jumping in the video, getting their cameos, and we all been rocking and doing stuff. So it's just, it was like the start of something amazing.
Yeah. Was that the track that you had that big ass fucking sign on that building?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
I was so like, oh my God, he's a star now. I was seriously just like, okay, goals. Fucking goals.
That thing, like, I wanted to do something outside of my social media to get Portland's attention.
Yeah.
That was not just like to my same followers. Like, okay, how can I promote my return back to rap, but also show the city of Portland who I am? Billboard. But it has to be in a prime spot in one of the biggest billboards Portland's ever seen from a local rapper.
Dude,
and that's what I did.
You did it.
Shout out to my executive producer, Deborah Howard, who invested in me and helped me get that. And we put that up the middle of June. It's still up right now.
Really? Fuck yeah.
It's been up for like 4 months.
That's just so tight. Like,
yeah, it's pretty dope. So, 5 months actually, going on 6. That's crazy. It's just crazy.
How is it put up there? Is it like one of those stick-on things, or what is that?
Yeah, so it's through like an advertising agency. We contacted them,
and do it.
They do it all.
You don't have to worry about taking care of it or nothing.
Exactly. And the thing is, we paid for a month, right? A promotion, and until another company books it, it's gonna be up there. So no other company has come behind to go, okay, we need this spot now. The last one was kombucha. It was some pretty girl drinking kombucha in a forest or something, and so now, it's me up there. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Dude, that is wild. Like, seriously, that's one of like my biggest goals. I got one of those little TV ones one time, and I was like proud of myself then. But when I saw yours, I was like, fuck, man, that shit's dope. But yeah, you got a show tonight, don't you?
Yes, I got a show tonight.
I think I'm gonna come through to that.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, it's at Jay's Hangout in Aloha with Frank Loke. Is his show, The Roaring 20s.
Frank Loke, that's dope.
Amazing artists on that tonight. My whole squad's performing.
Trista's there doing comedy, or is she rapping?
Yeah. I think she's doing both.
Oh, fuck yeah. I want to see her comedy, dude.
Yeah, she got a set, so it's gonna be pretty dope.
That is sick. No, hell yeah. So where can everybody find you and all your videos?
Oh man, you can find me on YouTube. All my music videos are on YouTube. Roulette Delgato 1. Make sure you guys subscribe. You can find me on social media, Instagram, Roulette_Delgato. That's ROULETTE_Delgato, DELGATO. Find me on Facebook, Roulette Delgato, TikTok, Roulette Delgato, Twitter, Roulette Delgato, everywhere, gatogang.net. Make sure you guys go there so you can get direct access to the video, Bustin' Back, and download the single on Spotify. Yeah, we just got a lot coming up, and I'm just, grateful
You're
and happy to
always
be here.
doing stuff. Like, yeah, you
Trying to stay
guys, you
busy.
got to keep up with this guy because he's always doing some like, not just like basic rap stuff. Like, you're doing some star shit.
Yeah, we just did New York Fashion Week. Actually, me and Glam
Really?
Doll walked New York Fashion Week. The whole squad was out there, and that was my second time doing it. I had did it once back in February,
That's sick.
and then in September, and we're going back in next February for New York Fashion Week. Shout out to Candace Christian, Dre Ben Franks, the Queen's Closet collection, King's collection. I mean, it's just amazing. I just love being a plus size model and doing something different, and I'm grateful to make change.
You're super original. You really are.
Thank you.
Yeah, I see you going like far places, way all over the globe. Like,
thank you so much.
It's gonna be sick.
That's the plan. I just want to get out there, share my story, spread positivity, and take care of my family and my friends. So.
Well, yeah, let's get it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in today, guys. And I hope you have a good one. And if you are watching this live, make sure you go to a show tonight. It's going to be dope. Later.
I'm back like I never left. Let me take a seat on my throne. Every year it's the same dude, new updates like iPhone. Fake friends been big mad and let bygones be bygones. Lights out, just lights out, and wake up in new time zones. Got a small circle, but the buzz getting bigger. Say goodbye to the drugs and the liquor. Whole team sitting down at the table, everybody got a plate, and we all eating dinner. Y'all got had a fake love, I don't need it. Got a hunger in my soul, gotta feed it. I'm the beast and I ain't being conceited. The gay nigga hotter than everybody believe it. They don't wanna see me bring the heat back. If it's beef, I'ma hang him on a meat rack. Why is it a crime? Cause I be black and knees in my neck, can't breathe, need a CPAP. Damn, I need oxygen. Another brother getting killed by the cops again. Why they really wanna put me in the box again? But I'm climbing all the way up to the top again. I've been around the way from the corner of the map. That's a fact. Let them have it for a minute, but I'm back. It's a wrap. There's a disconnect, but I'ma bridge the gap. There's no cap. And if they taking shots, I'm busting back. Hey, I've been around the way from the corner of the map. That's a fact. Let them have it for a minute, but I'm back. It's a wrap. There's a disconnect, but I'ma bridge the gap. There's no cap. And if they taking shots, I'm busting back. Hey, nigga, I'm an icon living. Fire in my eyes like a cyclops vision. You can speak, but I might not listen. See the bigger picture like a Nikon flicking. We gonna blow like a time bomb ticking. Choking haters out like a python gripping. Thinking I was sleep catching Z's in the kitchen, but I'm back in the streets after briefing and mission. Niggas pressed cause I'm living and I'm still hot. Say they been killing shit, but they still not. You niggas high off the coke and that pill pop, praying for the flop. Please stop cause I will not. Legendary, we are something like the greatest. Soaking up the game while you niggas on hiatus. Underrated, but I'm living like I made it. Driving a fast in this lane I created. BBS for beast on my bare shit. Fresh till I die, show you bums had to wear shit. That's your deal, gotta write scripts, I'm a therapist. Harry in this kid's full term like a Sarah kid. Really, I'ma change the globe. Should've been a shooter cause I'm trained to go. Boy, I got the flame, I want all the smoke. Could've grew up on the farm cause they raised the goat. I've been around the way from the corner of the map. That's a fact. Let them have it for a minute, but I'm back. It's a wrap. There's a disconnect, but I'ma bridge the gap. There's no cap. And if they taking shots, I'm busting back. Hey, I've been around the way from the corner of the map. That's a fact. Let them have it for a minute, but I'm back. It's a wrap. There's a disconnect, but I'ma bridge the gap. There's no cap. And if they taking shots, I'm busting back. Hey, and this ain't nothing new. Yeah, I pay my dues. Yeah, I've been the truth. This ain't breaking news. I'm so used to winning, I can never lose. And if they shooting shots, then I'm shooting too.